Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video. This is what our youth, our young adults are learning, okay? And this is something I think that we need to comprehend ourselves so we can help them. Now, what she does talk about here about potential and uncertainty. Now, there is a correlation there, right? With our purpose for being here and Heavenly Father's plan of joy. In that being that we are here to fulfill our measure. In other words, to achieve our potentials. And in so doing, though, there's an uncertainty of whether we will or we won't. And that's all called agency. That's agency. Right? So that's kind of important that we see that underlying factor there of agency, even in quantum theory. However, the agency she's going to talk about is going to be an agency that's going to be introduced as like the 2030 agenda, 2050 agenda, that basically takes away a lot of the freedoms that we have today, so that we can all be one, as her point she's trying to make here, be one and unified as one body. Now we hear that at church too, right? That we should be one, we should be unified, and yet so we know there's truth in that, and there's reality to that. But we start listening to this. This is why we got to be very, very careful, and why we need to do our own research as well, and not just sit at the pulpit here. Yeah, I need to be one, because this is what's going to be taught to our kids in college as well about what being one is. It really means, if you will, and you're going to see here, it means giving up, everybody giving up what they believe in or want and desire for one set goal, and that is to save the planet Earth for future posterity and from our own personal destructions. Meaning that we're going to give up what we have known now as our rights. There'll be no more rights. And in that all-inclusive will come to where there will be no right to religion. There'll be chosen religions. When I spent time in Cuba, I was doing some studies in Cuba. I had the opportunity to go there for a while. And when I did spend time there studying the religions, those were religions by the government. If anybody wanted to practice being LDS or true Christian or meaning the Christian faiths, or even Latter-day Saint faith, meaning, and I say true Christian because in Cuba the religions are government based, and they kind of have a mock type of a Christianity, if you will, sort of, kind of. But at least they did when I was there. There were 3 religions they could choose from. But those religions are not religions, are not anything that we would are allowed to come up with through divine revelation or inspiration. So there's no divine guidance in what she's trying to say here. Everything would be run and done by the human mind in human beings, and therefore we would be one because the laws would obligate us to be one, sacrificing everything that we would know today as our agency and our freedoms to be one with the land. Obviously, there's going to have to be an elite people, a group of people that would govern us, and they obviously can't be elected because you can't take the chance that we would go backwards and allow freedom to come back again. So that will be something that would compete with the other question. So just pay attention as we listen here. Let's carry on the video, Walter. Go ahead, please.
Based on a false illusion of determinateness, certainty. And in the quantum world, we know we cannot get rid of uncertainty. The uncertainty principle of Heisenberg. To this is linked to the 4th principle: no excluded middle, no duality, no either or. In the quantum world, it's and. In the mechanistic world, you can either be a wave or a particle. In the quantum world, you have potential to be both, and they're complementary. When you realize.
Now, here we go. See, there is no duality. There's only the middle, right? In other words, that we all give up. Everybody gives up what their they're standing for being on the right or on the left, and everybody just meets in the middle. No, Stephen Covey, his book for 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, great book. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend that book. Beck, I'll try to put a link down below. And while you're down below looking for that, do us a favor if you like this kind of content. Do us a favor, give us a thumbs up so we get the message out to everybody, helps the algorithms, and subscribe. It's free. And then as we get videos come up, you'll see, you'll get notified. So let's look at this. So we have left or right, and we want to try to find the middle. Okay, well, maybe a middle ground right now is not so bad, but when we give a middle ground, as Stephen Covey taught, when you give a middle ground, each side is giving up something, right? Usually giving up half of what they want. So it's a lose-lose deal. And in the end, only resentment arises. And I do believe that that's still a true human scientific psychological outcome of what would take place if we all just gave up right now, everybody, and met in the middle. There would just be resentment later from both sides, most likely, because one could not do what they feel that needs really to be fulfilled. We're going to just do this for apparently a higher cause. It's called synergy. I'm sorry, that's not called synergy. Synergy then would be this, the higher cause. I'm jumping ahead of myself. We would come together and create a whole new, right? A whole new principle. There is no left, no right. There's a new principle. And that would then elevate us to both of us getting what we want. But the problem now is that with the red and the blue separations politically, they're so extreme that I don't see how anybody. Now, if I'm wrong, put a comment down below, please. Make it cordial, make it educative, right? Educational. That's what this is all about. I thank you for being with us on Courageous Conviction. Remember, there's 5 episodes each week that we put out. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes, so stay with us. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and don't miss tomorrow's episode on Courageous Conviction.